Let's do this, man. What's happening, people? Hey, I'm going to do a little video. I've been working on so much stuff around the house. I just wanted to make sure that I got on here and did a video so you guys didn't think I forgot about you, because I didn't forget about you. I've been hanging out watching different videos and live streams and stuff like that. It's been, I think, about a week since I did another video, which is fine. It hasn't been that long. Been working on stereo stuff. I've been cleaning up some stereo equipment, doing some things that I've been putting off. Been working on a garden out there. It's trying to get it all ready, get my garden finished, or not really finished, but get it a good start. Make sure everything's ready to go. Plant. That way when fishing time comes, I'm ready to go fishing. One of my main passions in my life, and it always has been, has been fishing. I really enjoy fishing. I like being out at the lake, spending time with nature, and trying to catch fish. I don't always have to catch fish, but I always do catch fish. But to me, it's more just the time, being away, enjoying nature. And so I've been kind of working on my fishing gear a little bit. So I was going to share some things with you, just make a quick little video. Somebody was saying on the live stream that I've changed and my videos have got boring, and I need to start drinking again. And I'm just like, well, I'm feeling good being sober. I'm enjoying life. I'm more relaxed and more at peace with myself, and I'm enjoying it. So if you're here to see a raging alcoholic, maybe you shouldn't be watching my channel. Unsubscribe to my channel. Go down the road to the next channel, and good luck to yourself. I don't want people to leave, but if that's why you're here, you're here for the wrong reason. And you're not really my friend if you're not encouraging. If you're not an encouragement to my life, then whatever. I'm not really gonna miss you either. So you got that option. So let me just, I went over to the tackle shop this week. I've got fishing equipment back here. You can't really see. I've got some fishing reels here and stuff. And, when I was probably about 12 years old, my dad bought me, some fishing tackle for my birthday. And one of the reels was sitting back here. And I took it to the tackle shop, this week. I took it down there. They do a really good job. It's a place in Dayton, Fisherman Headquarters. And they'll take your reels apart. They'll check the schematics. Replace the parts that need replaced. Maybe it needs some new magnets. Maybe it needs some new drag washers. Maybe it needs some new lubrication or something in the reel. Clean it up. Get the crap out of it. The thing's, 30, 40 years old. It's time to clean it up. So I took it over there. And this guy over there at the tackle shop, it's not one of these new fancy reels. And he looks at this reel and he goes, oh, you need to buy one of these reels in the case. He said he's not the guy that owns the place. He's another guy. And I told him, I said, you don't have a reel in that case that's better than this reel. This reel, my dad bought me this reel when I was probably about 12 or 13 years old. And, it's just something I cherish. I wouldn't take anything from the world for it. It's just one of those things you should never get rid of. And I've got my dad, when I was growing up, I was always poor. And I always used the cheapest stuff I could get. That's just what poor people do. They make do with what they got, And I remember one year for my birthday, my dad bought me 2 new rods for my birthday. Went out and spent, I think they were like $40 each. Back in the 80s, this was like back in the 80s, he bought me these rods. And I still have these rods to this day, I don't use them, but I still have them. And maybe one day I'll use them, and I've caught a lot of fish on these rods. Let me show you my rods my dad bought me. Now, these aren't the original reels, but these are the type of reels I used to use when I was in high school, This is a master rod, and it's got the big eyes on it, you know, because back in the day, you know, we didn't have all that fancy stuff. It's got the big spinning rod guides, kind of like metal and plastic and stuff. I mean, it's not like I said, it's not a super expensive. It's got the foam handle. It's got this is the old 5000 reel. It's an Ambassador 5000, and this is the rod Dad bought me. This is it's a 10 foot. It says it's a model 6215, and he bought me 2 of them. Okay, like I said, these reels weren't on them. They had different reels at the time, but these are the type of reels I used. So he bought me 2 of them. So I had a pair, and man, I tell you what, I had a rod, man. I had 2 10-foot Master rods. I don't even know if Master's still in business to this day, but I still got my rods that my dad bought me. They're still in great shape, still in really good shape. Got a couple old 5000s. These things are probably made back in the 60s or 70s, you know, these old, you know. They don't have the clickers on them, the bait clickers and stuff like that, you know. When I was growing up, we never had bait clickers, you know. We would throw our poles out, and we would just have to watch them. You know, sometimes if big cats, they'd hit that, and they'd start taking line out of your reel. You always let their bail up, and you'd have to watch your spool, especially at nighttime when you were out there fishing, because you couldn't see nothing, you know. But you just have to watch your reel and see when your line was spinning. And we'd always put those glow sticks on our bobber. We'd always get some electrical tape, and we would tape the glow stick onto our bobber. You know, if we had enough money to buy a glow stick. But you know, I'm proud of that. You know, that I still have the rods, you know, and I still have that reel that my dad bought me. I still have that reel. They're going to get, I might use that reel this year. I might take these rods out this year. You know, I'm kind of taking a break right now from the live streaming. I'm going to do some live streams. They're probably going to be boring, because I plan on maybe going out to the lake and maybe doing some live streams out the lake when I'm fishing, just to relax and stuff like that. Now, this is one of my carp rods. I've got a few of these carp rods, and it actually says carp rod on there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if it's upside down or something, but it says carp rod. And this is a newer reel. It's got the bait rudder here on the back. It's got a decent sized reel with plenty of line. I use about 12, 14 pound line. I use the green monofilament. Then I got my rig here for the carp. Put the pack bait on, throw it out. Have a great time catching some carp. I really enjoy catching carp. It's like everybody nowadays, everybody's catfishing. So I've kind of switched around to do the carp fishing. That way I can get away from people. And I really enjoy catching carp, man. They pull so hard. So this is one of my carp rods. I'll just kind of show it to you. Now this is a 12-foot rod. It's kind of like a medium action. It's got a nice backbone, but it bends over. You can't hardly break these rods. They are made really well. It's a more modern rod. One of my main cat rods is this guy here. This is a St. Croix, and these reels, I've had these reels for quite a long time. These are, I believe, Ambassador 6000s, and I just like the way they work. They got like a little rubber. I put the rubber grips over on the handles here. You used to be able to buy these at Walmart really cheap. These reels here, you got the clickers on them. They're a little bit wider than the 5000s on my Master rods. They're a little bit wider. Got the clicker. I got them on these St. Croix rods. I really like these. These are 11-foot rods, and I mean, these things are just tougher than nails. Kind of expensive. I don't even think you could find them anymore. They quit making the red ones. This is the red ones. You can see the color. You can still find. They make the same rod, but it's black now. This is the rod I picked up. I picked this rod up in Carolina years ago, And it's a star. It's called a star rod. It's American made. My St. Croix is an American made rod, and it's got a reel. Let's see here. It's got the Catfish Pro. My son bought this reel for me for Christmas. I think one year he bought me this reel, so I use it. It's a 6500 Rocket, I believe. It says Catfish Pro on the side. I use about 30-pound line on my catfish rods. This had a super long handle on it. You know, Carolina's for saltwater, so I cut the handle down a little bit, shortened it up for catfishing. And I was out there one day fishing with this rod, and I went to jerk, and I smacked one of my rod holders and snapped my rod, right? So I took it over to Fisherman Quarters, and they actually repaired it. They actually put it back together for me, and those guys are really good, man. And I've tried to break that. I hooked it to the fence before. I mean, I've pulled it, and you cannot break that right there. With those guys, they actually wrapped it. You know, they inserted a blank into the rod. They put a tube over it, and then they wrapped it. It's really light. It didn't add any weight to the rod, and it's super tough, man. And I've caught plenty of catfish on this rod since they've done some repairs. So this is one of my main catfish rods, and I've caught a lot of big fish on this rod. This is, you know how they say you get a lucky rod? It's like whenever I take this rod out, I always catch my biggest fish on it. I don't know why, but that's just the way that it is. This is my lucky rod. And then this one here, I've had it for a couple years. This is a newer rod that I bought. It's got the Revo Toro on it. The Revo Toro. And I do believe it's got 30-pound line on it. I think it's called Black Widow line. It's like a camouflaged. If you look at it, it's got multiple colors on it. Clint at Fisherman Headquarters, he actually makes these rods, okay? This is a, let me flip it around here. This rod, it's a rain shadow rod. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but it says Clint Customs. So it's a customized rod. The guy makes these rods. He's really good. He sells them for a fair price. This is like an 11-footer. My star rod, I think it's a 10-footer. I think it's just either a 10 or 11-footer. I'm not sure. It says 10'6", so this is 10.5 foot. I got a Harley Davidson bobber on it. Ain't that cool? So I got it hooked up with a Harley Davidson bobber. Then I got another little cork there. That way, you know, sometimes when the wind's blowing, it's easier to see the yellow, but a lot of times it's easier just to see the red. So I put both colors on there. That way it just makes it easier to see. So I kind of got the itch. That's just a couple of my rods that I use when I go fishing. Got a ton of fishing equipment, and you know, it won't be long. I'm going to be out at the lake doing some fishing, catching some catfish. And I just wanted to make a short little video here so you guys didn't think I forgot about you. I know this isn't like stereo or record related. I'm going to do more record videos. I'm going to do more stereo videos. I've got some new equipment I've been working on and stuff. But, you know, I want to balance it out a little bit. Get some fishing in it, you know. And, you know, I don't really want people to unsub. I'm not telling people to unsub. But I'm just saying that if you're here to watch a out of control drunk, you know, I'm not that person anymore. You know, hope I never become that person anymore. I feel really good, you know, and I'm really focused. You know, I feel like, you know, that time in my life has passed, and I'm going into the future, you know, and looking for good things to happen. So you guys be good. Just checking in on you. I'm out of here.